Here come all fly time, he come grooving on slowly. He got juju, outlaw, he won.
You know, I really got to thank my friends over at Humberview Motorsports for loaning me this beautiful 2020 Z4 M40i because boy, oh boy, is this thing a lot of fun. I mean, I got the top down now, and we'll start off with the top up.
He wear no shoe shine, he got told.
Yes, it's going to be a good day. Depends on which side of the border you're on. If you're in Canada, you call it a Z4. If you're in America, you call it a Z4. Well, I sold the Z4, Z4, whatever you want to call it, back in the day, and this is an iteration that I've never had a chance to drive. This is the newest version of the BMW Z4, and the one in particular I'm driving, thanks to the folks over at Humberview Motorsports. Go and see my buddy Pat if you want to take a closer look, and he's got a few other ones, a beautiful white one as well. This is the M40i version of the Z4, and I gotta say, much like the Z4 that I sold in the original generation as well that I sold back in the day, it is really a wonderful example of a true roadster. So what's a roadster? Well, a roadster, it's in the sort of DNA of the vehicle. In a roadster, you're generally sitting very close to the rear axle of the car, and a roadster also has quite a long nose, so the engine being at the front of this car with its long nose and that swooping line at the back, well, what do you get? You get that beautiful roadster line, and just like any true BMW roadster, they do a great job of marrying up the front windscreen with the fabric top. Now, this isn't a hard top, this is actually a fabric top that's up above my head here, and of course we'll be taking the top down. It's a beautiful day, so we got to take the top down at some point. If anything, just to hear that, hit the throttle for a little bit of a burble, why not? What a great way to start your day. I mean, really, this is the way you should start your day in this car, with the top down. You don't always get such a beautiful day, but I can also tell you, for a lot of sports cars, especially the ones with rag tops or convertible tops, you also don't get such a lovely roof line. BMW has always made sure that their roof lines on the cars, the actual windscreen, is raised forward. A lot of cars out there, they get a rag top or they get a hard top, a folding hard top, but they leave the windscreen quite raked and far back. And this is a true roadster design, and it's definitely a vehicle that, well, if you're looking for an open top car to enjoy, well, just virtually whenever you want, wherever you want, this is definitely one of those cars. So much fun. I mean, really, do I really need to know through the steering wheel via vibration that I've gotten close to the line? Not really, but it's really nice that they add the safety feature in there. But as a driver, I gotta say, I mean, I should have been well expected that this is going to be a fun car to drive. It's a BMW. They are all built for drivers, and basically everything that you would need in order to enjoy either a track day event, which you could definitely go to in this car and really have a whole hell of a lot of fun, or put the top up, head out on a big highway, but then put the top down and get off to the side roads and make your way closer to the lake or something like that. Yeah, really just a lovely, lovely vehicle. And really, I mean, what you get with a car like this that does everything so well, you basically get two cars in one. You get a little bit of entertainment for the summertime, listening to that little burble, but also just one of the nicest vehicles to drive because the front axle is so far away from you. As you steer the car, you can kind of feel the nose sort of knife through the roadway, and it just feels so lovely to drive. I mean, anyone can drive this car. You would never have to fear loaning this car to a friend. The only downside being you just might not get it back. As usual, BMW has done a wonderful job putting this all together. You have satin finishes, you have glossy finishes, you have leather finishes, you have some rubberized finishes, and you have some chromed finishes, and you have all kinds of finishes. But putting it all together and making it look great and not like an old jukebox or stereo system. You really have to start marrying up your pieces very well, and BMW does a wonderful job of that in this car. It's a real feast for the eyes. It's a very easy vehicle to look at, and actually the only downer to some of the shiny bits is on a day like today I'm getting a little bit of reflection, but other than that, the interior of the car is exactly what you would expect from BMW, which is, well, a fair amount of perfection, we'll say, on the interior. And the drive is also fantastic, but I got all the electronics I'm pretty much used to in a BMW. I can see my head-up display here. It's warning me that I'm going a little bit over the speed limit, which I would imagine is a bit of a problem in this car, because my God, is it ever smooth. But boy, as soon as I get on this on-ramp and I start to increase my speed, I haven't adjusted anything yet. I'm just going to tromp on it and let the system do what it does and use the paddle shifters. Unbelievable how quickly this car gets up and going. Unbelievable. And it does it so well. It's just so quiet when it does it. Now, in front of me here on the center console, I got a few choices, and one of the things that BMW has always done really well, and even when I was selling them 20 years ago, we still had these types of choices with traction control. They wanted to make it tailorable to each and every customer, and if you're the type of customer who probably is never going to put it in sport mode and actually prefers the comfort mode, go nuts. But these modes and adjustments were all designed to be a tailoring of the vehicle to the customer. So kind of like you buy a new suit. Well, it's not perfect. If you're really lucky, that looks like it was made for you. But actually, if you spend a couple extra bucks and get the little wrist part ticket in here, a little bit on the lapel, a little bit on the arms, get it darted, and then it just fits you like a glove. Well, that's what all of these settings are for. It's designed to make your car fit you like a glove. And if I hit the sport button, all of a sudden you can hear the engine kick down a little bit, give me another gear, lower gear, so I have a little bit more RPMs. And as soon as I hit the throttle, it's a lovely sound coming out of the rear of the car. I hope it comes up really well on the audio. But yeah, just the thing that impresses me most about the Z4 right now is how much it kind of feels like an M3. In the sense that it just feels like a larger, more robust version of the Z4s I would have driven several years ago, and this particular Z4 that I have with the M40i package on it, which, geez, even if you forget it, there's a pictorial right in front of you. BMW definitely does not want you to forget what this car is. You can see Z4s and M logos all over the car. M standing for Motorsport. But that said, I mean, really, it's sort of deserved, I gotta say. I mean, just driving this car now, I'm just following another vehicle, and you know, we're doing about 50 or 60 kilometers, and just the road holding capability of the car just feels fantastic. And I mean, what's not to like? It's a beautifully designed roadster with a top that comes down. I mean, really, who wouldn't want one? This is definitely a car you want. This is a car you want to drive. This is a car you want to take out for a longer drive. Put the golf clubs in the back, and your golf clubs will fit in the back of this car. But that said, I mean, an all-arounder, absolutely. You want to take this to Motorsport and have like a driver track day? Go nuts. You can do it in this car. But also at the same time, if you just want to drive around through the suburbs on a Sunday and take maybe a drive down to the lake or something like that, I can totally see anyone doing that in this vehicle. As soon as you get in, not only is it comfortable, it's also sporting, but it is when you want it to be. And that's essentially what you end up paying for in a vehicle like this. And I gotta say, it's worth every penny. It's just so impressive that this car actually doesn't have a roof and feels like it does. That the roof over my head right now is mostly made of cotton. And I just can't get over how solid feeling and how wonderful the car feels overall. But again, you get what you pay for. You know, a little while ago, I said a 911 could probably turn you into Steve McQueen. What does it do for you? I know what it does for me. The car turns you into Steve McQueen. And I was thinking to myself, you know, what can a BMW Z4 turn you into? I think it kind of turns you into a race car driver, if you ask me.
Come